You know, there's a growing debate, Dr. Fauci, in this country about the pace and progress of reopening. And I'd like to read you today a tweet from the former CEO of Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein, and get your reaction to it if I could. He tweeted a little bit earlier today, quote, "Hospitals are not overwhelmed. Most of us will be exposed anyway since we can't sequester until there's a vaccine. And we know which groups need protection from the worst outcomes. Is the public health benefit from broad lockdowns at this point worth such extreme damage to livelihoods?" There are also people who argue for herd immunity. How do you address what Mr. Blankfein is saying today and what others have said in the past days, that it's just time to open this country up, Dr. Fauci, and protect the most vulnerable?
Well, A, I have no disagreement. We must protect the most vulnerable. And B, yes, depending upon the dynamics of the infection in the particular state, city, region, county that you're in, we certainly want to, in a cautious way, reopening. We can't stay locked down for such a considerable period of time that you might do irreparable damage and have unintended consequences, including consequences for health. And it's for that reason why the guidelines are being put forth so that the states and the cities can start to re-enter and reopen. So we are enthusiastic about reopening. And I think we can do it in a pace that would be reasonable and that would get us back as a society from a morale standpoint, as well as the economy. I don't want people to think that any of us feel that staying locked down for a prolonged period of time is the way to go. We had to do that when we had the explosion of cases, but now is the time, depending upon where you are and what your situation is to begin to seriously looking at reopening the economy, reopening the country to try and get back to some degree of normal. I'm totally in favor of that, if done in the proper way, in the appropriate setting.
There are areas of the country, though, Dr. Fauci, that are opening even though their cases continue to rise. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, you know, I've been very clear that I have concerns if cases are continuing to go up and you're actually jumping over some of the benchmarks that we put in the recommendations. If states and cities and counties are going to do that, no matter what, I would recommend that they take very significant precautions in doing that. And there are certain things that you can do. The idea about physical separation, about wearing a mask, about not getting involved in crowds, you can still proceed to open so long as you do those fundamental baseline things. But in general, I think most of the country is doing it in a prudent way. There are obviously some situations where people might be jumping over that. I just say, please proceed with caution if you're going to do that.
Team, subscribe for more of these type of videos.